Welcome to week 7. This is one of our busiest weeks, and I'm hoping that you all have been working on your signature assignment up until now, so it'll be a little bit easier for you all. The very first thing I want to remind you of is that is due this week. For your signature assignment, you were supposed to start out with something like a basic definition of the term and then expound on it based on the materials in the course to say how it relates to the legal world and why it is important. So it's much more than just the legal definition. So you can go to Black's Law Dictionary or any legal dictionary to get that basic understanding of the term. But then you need to go a step further, such as this example, to give an example of how it is relevant today. Don't forget to cite throughout this document. Every single one of these should have a reference to the textbook or other course materials, so you need to have multiple citations all the way through this, both an in-text citation and at the end of the document. For this week, we're going to be talking about family law. So many of you all said that you had an interest in family law when we were doing this before, so this whole chapter should be helpful to those of you who think that you're interested in pursuing family law. I've got a couple of videos on here to give you a little bit more of the real world example, not just a textbook example of family law. Of every area of law that I practice, family law is the least like what you will read in the textbooks. There's so much of it that is nuanced based on the individual families, based on your geographic location, based on the judge that you're before. It's just a very different type of law, and it's less cut and dry, less black and white because of the situations with which you're dealing. So in addition to your assignment this week for the signature assignment, you've got your regular writing assignment, which is going to be talking about the main issues that are addressed in family court, talking about those things like custody, divorce, different types of rights. In your textbook and in these videos, you should be able to easily find 5 different areas to reference in this post. Please do that. Don't just list them. Talk about what they are and how they mean, how they make a difference. Mediation is something very important. It is where parties get together before an arbiter and work through their issues. Talk about how that works in the family court and why it is encouraged by the family courts. There are some links up here to the Kentucky family courts. If you scroll up right here in the middle, you can go to the family court system in Kentucky. Look at that and see how it relates to family law in a different way than when you're in the regular civil court or in a criminal court. Family court in Kentucky is a branch of our circuit court, so it is within the circuit court system, but it is a different judge most of the time who dedicates their career to family law. And then end it with, are you still interested in practicing family law? After having a couple of different courses in the paralegal program and in this course where you touch on it twice, I'm always interested to see how students progress in their thinking about family law. It's one of the areas with which most students are most familiar. But once you start looking at the nuts and bolts of what it would mean to work as a paralegal or an attorney in a family law practice, it's very different. And it's something for those of you that are still interested in pursuing this, I strongly encourage you to work with an attorney who practices family law as an intern before you accept a position there. So often students get those positions in a family law practice, and it's not exactly what they thought it was going to be, and there's a lot of difficulty in switching positions at that time. If you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. I've graded this week's assignments. Please remember to cite to the course material and to use in-text citations. A few of you are still having a hard time with your in-text citations and your citations at the end of the paper where you're putting your full citation. Purdue OWL is a great tool, and you also have the online tutoring through the university. Take advantage of those resources. Purdue OWL is a free source. You can Google it. It's got everything that you could need. And your online tutoring is right here. Underneath where you go for My Grades, you can click on that, and that'll send you directly over to tutor.com. You can drop your work off. You can have an on-demand 24/7 meeting with a tutor. It's a fantastic resource. Also, the last thing I want to mention is I've got some links to the Law Shelf assignments to where you can submit badges for up to 5 bonus points anytime you complete one. Let me go back to the beginning and show that to you. I want to make sure that everybody understands that you do not have to pay for this. When you pull it up to this first page, it looks like you do. However, if you scroll way down, see how far I'm scrolling until it gets over here to say digital badge only. Those are free. That is something that you can do to brush up on the different areas of law that we're covering. There are 2 different ones on family law. One of them is talking about alimony and child support, and the other is child custody visitation. And if you remember, you're supposed to talk about 5 different areas of family law. Here's a couple of examples for you and a little bit of heads up on that one. So these are just really good ways to go deeper into an area. You do not have to pay for these so long as you go down to the digital badge only. Have a great week, and if you've got any questions, don't hesitate to reach out.